Welcome everyone to this session on how to use Discord. This is our February community meeting. Just some housekeeping before we get started. We don't typically record community meetings because we want our participants to feel comfortable joining the conversation. However, we are making an exception in recording this session because it is an important topic and we want to make sure everyone can view or rewatch the session on demand as needed. So this on-demand video will be available to members only. It won't be publicly distributed on our YouTube channel or anything. So I still hope you'll feel comfortable asking questions on or off camera. You can add questions to chat and I'll keep my eye on those. And I will also do my best to pause at the end of each section to answer some questions along the way. But we'll also do Q&A at the end, just in case you miss your chance or can't find the perfect time to ask a question. I am also showing the desktop version of Discord today, and as you can see, I'm in dark mode. We'll cover all of that. However, I do want to let everyone know that Discord is available as a phone app for iOS and Android. You can use Discord on your laptop, on your tablet, on your phone, or all free. So I have it on all of mine, and it's good to stay connected. Okay. All right, I want to start just for a moment talking a little bit about what Discord is and what it can do. So if you've never been on Discord or have not heard about it, it is a free app that lets you communicate with people through text, voice, and video chat. It was an app that was originally built for gamers, but in recent years, especially since the pandemic, it's really expanded to include communities of all kinds, from entertainment. There are schools and universities that are on Discord, businesses are on Discord, and nonprofits like us are also on Discord. Discord is organized into different servers, and each server is an online community that's focused on specific interests. So the NUA server, for example, is focused on upholstery and drapery. And each server has a number of channels that are divided up by topic. There are different channel types also, and they all look a little different, but we'll get into those as we move forward. So the next question might be, well, why did the NUA choose Discord as our app of choice? And I'd like to say that when we started the association, we actually used Slack for collaboration. That we used that for our volunteers and our board members because we're distributed all over the US, and we communicate primarily online. So we used Slack as that single point of communication. But there came a time when Slack actually changed their free program, and messages on Slack are now archived after 90 days on the free plan, which is a problem for us because we are doing some coordination sometimes months in advance. For example, CWC, we start planning 6 months or more in advance. So if we're losing the ability to view messages after 90 days, that doesn't really work for us. So I did some shopping around for the best alternative. I even looked at Slack as a subscription, but ended up on Discord at the end of the day. Part of the reason we chose Discord is that it's really customizable. There's so many different ways to connect and interact through voice and chat, online events, announcements, and more. I'm going to show you some of those features today. We don't actually use all of those features yet, but I do hope that we might leverage those in the future. I'm particularly excited about doing things like live events and video demonstrations, for example. Discord might seem a little intimidating at first, but I think once you get the hang of it, I think you'll like it. Also, if you have kids that are on Discord, you now have bragging rights. You can keep in touch with them either on servers that they join or even through direct message. So just one other reason to use Discord if you've got kids that also use Discord. I mentioned that Discord is just a messaging app. If you've ever used apps like Slack or Google Chat, especially their Spaces feature, if you've ever used Reddit, or if we go back a little further, if you've used Yahoo chat rooms or ICQ or AOL Instant Messenger, Discord can do a lot more than these things, but it's still organized in similar ways. So getting into it. Servers. So I mentioned earlier that servers are online communities that are focused on special interests. If you're on your desktop, you're going to see your servers on the left-hand menu side. The National Upholstery Association, I'm showing on my screen, is one of the servers that I happen to be on. I'm also on a server that's run by my baby brother and one by my husband as well. So you can join more than one server, and there are many public servers that you can go search if you have other interests like gaming or entertainment or science. In fact, I'll click on Discover and I'll show you. So along the top, we've got some categories. These are the publicly searchable servers. Science and tech, for example, if you're into AI or if you're into music, there's whole servers for that. So there's a lot of fun things you can look at. So if you're on Discord for the NUA, you might consider checking out some of the other servers as well. Users, if you were looking for other users, you can see a list of users by clicking on the show member list at the top of your screen. If you are on, if you're on mobile, what you'll want to do is go into a channel, and from the channel menu, you should see a show member list. You can click on it, and you're going to see a list of all of the members that are in that channel. In other words, all the members that can see that channel are going to be listed on your right-hand side. Or if you're on mobile, it's going to take over your screen, and you can just back out of that when you want. One thing I do want to mention is you'll need to click it again to hide the member list. This took me a lot of time to figure out what to do. Hide member list will just make it go away. So I want to talk a little bit about roles. This is a little different than some other chat messaging apps that you've used before. Roles give you different permissions on our server and in the channels. So when I talk about roles, I'm talking about permissions. One thing I'll mention here, you can see the big blue bar at the top of my screen. You're not going to see this. This is just because I have admin rights, and I wanted to be able to show everyone here what they're going to see. So right now I'm viewing the server as the NUA member role. So there are different kinds of roles, and every role has different permissions. There are different channels that have different permissions, and your role will dictate whether or not you can see those channels. They also may give you access to manage channels, to participate in channels, to reply and create threads, to embed links or attach files, to use certain emojis, or to mention people. So your role actually dictates a lot of different things that happen. It's, again, hugely customizable. These roles are determined by the admins at National Upholstery Association. And for the purpose of this training, we're showing everyone as the NUA member role, although we do have other roles available as well. And I'll go into those just right now. So I'm going to go out of this just so I can show you the roles because I think it's a little easier if you can see what they are. All right, so here are the roles that we have. Again, these are stackable. So what that means is you can almost think of it maybe like the military. Your admin is like your 5-star general. They can do anything. And then as you move down the ranks, then you get into maybe the private, the person that doesn't have any permissions at all and needs to ask. So admins are in red. You'll see red text. We also have moderators, board members. We have a couple of different volunteer roles. We have the NUA member role in green. And then we have a couple of bots and other objects here that just help us manage the server better. When you're in one of the channels, you'll notice that everyone comes with a color, and that color will determine what role that they are. So for example, I mentioned red is for admin, purple is for volunteer, and then if you are in blue, I'm not sure if I can find a blue here, but if you're blue, then you're going to be just an NUA member. Yellows are board members. Okay. And also, if you do look at the show member list, you'll notice that the colors are there as well. So, I'm sorry, green is NUA member, not blue. Blue is moderator. Okay. And also, if you are just if you're just joining the server for the very first time, you're going to be white. And what that means is we haven't assigned you a role. And if you're unassigned, you're going to see very few channels here. We're going to get in channels in a moment, but just know that one of the admins or a moderator will need to give you the role of NUA member or NUA volunteer for you to have access to all the channels that you see here today. Users can have multiple roles. So the roles that you see or the colors that are represented here for each person represents their highest role. But just know that a board member might also have the volunteer role, and they might also have the NUA member role. But really, whatever their highest level of role is going to dictate the permissions that they have on our server. Okay. I'm going to go back to sharing in the view for the NUA member role. View server as role again, so you can only see what I see, or I see only what you see. And we'll talk about channels next. Okay, so channels are broken out into different sections, and on desktop, you're going to see them on the left-hand side. If you are on mobile, you're going to see them in your main screen. And in order to get into the channels, you're going to need to click on a channel from your main screen. Starting at the top, you'll see events and browse channels. Everyone should have this access to this. You may or may not also see a members channel. When I click on it, it does nothing, but this member list up here is really what you're going to want to use. Events are really cool. I do want to point this out. We're going to try to keep this calendar up to date. It's going to tell you all the things that are upcoming. These are not only NUA events, but also industry events that you might be interested in. And if you are interested in something, you can click into it and get more information about it. So we'll be keeping this up to date as much as possible. If you click that you're interested in an event from the event screen, it is going to give you a notification when that event starts. And if you can tell here, you can see this is happening now. This particular community meeting is on our calendar. And so it tells you that it's going on right now, and you can click on the event details and see more about it. Okay. When you're in an event, other things that you can do, you can share the event, or you can just copy the event link so you can email it or message it to someone. So there's a few different options for you there. The browse channels button here will give you a list of all of the available channels that you can see. And right now, as an NUA member, you can see all of the NUA member channels. You can also see the volunteer channels but not participate in them. I'll talk about that in a minute. If the channel is checkmarked, it means that you can view the channel. If you uncheck the box, the channel will disappear. So for example, rules is here on your left-hand side. If I were to uncheck it, you're going to see it disappear. And there it is, it's gone. You can click on it again, and it'll show up again. So that's one way to hide channels. If there's certain channels that you don't want to see or don't interest you at all, you can hide them here in the channel, browse channels button. Okay. You'll also want to perhaps check from time to time to make sure if you are interested in seeing all the channels that all of the check marks are checked. New channels don't always appear automatically. It's a bug. I think Discord has fixed that, but I'm still wary about it, and I do check it from time to time. The other thing that you can do is if you click at the top, you can see show all channels. Right now it's unchecked. If you check that, then all of these check boxes should become checked if there are any unchecked, and that will make sure that you see all of the channels. So again, you're just clicking in the server itself. There's some settings, and you'll click on show all channels. Okay. As far as channels go, in our main channel menu, there's a few different types of channels that are specific to the NUA server. We've got some uncategorized channels, which are these here at the top. With some exceptions, they're viewable by everyone, including new people that join the server for the first time before they have a role assigned to them. they're going to see the rules channel. They're going to see the announcement channel. They might even see the welcome and help and how to use Discord channel. I think that's true. The NUA channel here, you'll see it says limited. There's actually, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a little padlock over the icon here. That means that it's limited to a certain audience. In this case, it's limited to people with the NUA member role. But for the most part, with the exception of that, anyone that joins the server is going to be able to see these channels. The next group is the general group. These are also going to be NUA member channels. So if you just join the server, you may not see all these channels, but once you get the NUA member role, you should see them. We have a number of channels here that you might be interested in, but if you're not interested in, you can hide them or you can mute them also. If there's a section that you want to collapse, you can also click on the caret next to it and it'll actually hide all the channels in the menu as well. Okay. Other channel sections, we have a whole section, another section for NUA members. We have a section for NUA committees. These are for our volunteers to do committee coordination. As an NUA member, you will have the ability to see all of the conversations that are happening in these committees. But if you notice at the bottom, it says you do not have permission to send messages in this channel. So as an NUA member, again, you can see everything that happens for transparency. There's a lot of work that goes into running the NUA. But if you want to participate in the conversation, please consider becoming a volunteer. If you do, we'll give you the volunteer role, and then you can jump into any of these committee channels, regardless of which committee you attach yourself to, and you can participate. Okay. One other thing I want to mention is at the top of every channel, let me find an NUA members channel. We'll do the idea channel. Sure. At the top of each channel, you'll see the name of the channel. In this particular channel, it also has a description. Most of the channels, I think all of the channels have descriptions. You can click on it to see the full description. So as I mentioned before, all the channels are separated by topic. So this particular channel is a place that you can come and just give your ideas about what we should be doing at NUA, whether it's an idea for some swag or an idea for a program that we should implement. Right at here, it's recorded for posterity, and if we can find a volunteer to implement it, we might just do it. Some other icons at the top of every channel you'll see is one for threads. If there is a thread in the channel, and I'll talk about that in a minute, and you click on it, you'll see the list of threads here. There's also one for notification settings. So if you want to mute this channel, you can. You can mute it for a specific amount of time, or you can dictate what kind of messages you get notifications on. I currently have it set to default, which means that anytime anybody posts a message, I get a little ding on my phone or on my computer. But if you only want to get that notification if someone mentions you by name, that's possible. Or you can mute the channel, or you can have it set to nothing, so it won't notify you at all. There's a lot of different options for notification. Within each channel, there's also something called pinned messages. This particular channel rather, has a couple of pinned messages. These are important things that we maybe want to remember for later. It might get missed in the chatter eventually as we chat through some of these chat channels. You might miss a post. So the important ones, an admin or a moderator can pin the post to the channel for quick reference later. And then I've already mentioned the show member list, which again will show you all of the people that are have access to that particular channel. And it will be different depending on what level or what role you have. A couple of other things, you'll see an inbox to your right. You are going to see all of your mentions there. If someone mentions you by name, it's going to be there for posterity. If you've clicked on that you're interested in any events, it's also going to list them here in the For You. And then I'm not going to click on it here because I know it's here, but you're also going to see some unreads. If you haven't been on Discord in a while and you're just getting back to it and you want to see what's been going on and who If there are any threads that you've been following, it'll be there in the unread section. What I will mention is that these in your inbox are not just for the NUA server. This is going to be across all servers that you participate in. And the reason I'm not clicking on unreads is because my brother has some not safe for work stuff that he posts, and you all don't need to see that, so I'm not going to click on that. Okay. Now that we've talked about the channel basics, I want to talk a little bit about the channel types. So when you look at these channels, you'll notice there are different icons on the left-hand side of the channel names, and they all mean different things. Most of the channels that we have here at the NUA are going to be text channels, and they are noted by the hashtag symbol. So these are real-time chat channels where messages appear as they are sent. It's just a list. So just like any common chat room, it's just going to be message after message after message. It's good for quick back and forth conversations. And again, mention the hashtag symbol will tell you. If you hover over it there, it says it's a text channel. The next kind of channel I want to call your attention to is the forum channel. This is designated by a message bubble or message bubbles. These are designed for longer topic-focused discussions, and they are really categorized or organized into individual posts. So instead of seeing just one long list of chats, what you'll see is a topic. In show and tell, that topic might be a picture of a project that you've done and a description. And then within that post, if you click on it, then you're going to be able to see all of the comments or replies on that post. So that's what a forum channel is. High-level topic conversation, and then under that conversation are posts organized underneath it. In the forum channel, you have some choices in how you view them. If you click on the sort and view button, right now I have it viewed as list. So you just see the titles with small icons on the right-hand side if you've attached images, but you could also choose gallery and see larger pictures if that's what you're more interested in. Another type of channel is called a voice channel or voice chat. It's notated by a little speaker. This one also has a padlock next to it, meaning that it's limited to specific roles. Anyone that's an NUA member can access the voice chat. You will need an enabled speaker and a microphone in order to use the voice channel. We only have one voice channel now, but at some point, if we see a need, we might add another. To join the channel, you just click on it. Now I am live, and you can see that I can either deafen the channel, I can turn off my microphone, and I can disconnect when I'm done. It's like a party line, it's essentially like a group call. So you can have as many people in the voice chat as you want. Discord originally created this feature so people can play games together and talk to each other while they're playing the games. Disconnect when you're done. Okay, and then the next type of channel I want to draw your attention to are the announcement channels, and those are notated by a megaphone. Announcement channels are restricted, which means that not everyone can post to them. Usually it's going to be a high-level role like an admin or a mod, but important information are typically in announcement channels. So check them often. In this case, I've got an announcement for when people first join the server. NUA announcements are specific for NUA members. You click on that. I do want to mention that we do have all of our meeting minutes from all of our committee meetings that any NUA member can view. So that's here in the announcements channel, broken out by year. And these are also in the pinned notes as well. So as we add more announcements, these will stay pinned to the top if you're interested. There is one other type of channel, which we don't have yet, but it's called Stage. And Stage is noted with an icon. It's a person with two circles around them. The Stage channel is really a place for people to host events or panels or Q&As. We don't have any, as I mentioned, we don't have any of those in the moment, but we might create one in the future for some online events. All right. Now that I've talked a little bit about Discord and all the pieces and parts of Discord, I want to show you some tips and tricks. These are going to be important for you, especially as you first join the server. So the first thing you're going to want to do is change your name on the NUA server. Reason being is that when you first join, you're probably going to have some generic name that is just some garbled nonsense. You're not going to really know what it means. But you want other people to know who you are. And we would love to know who you are by either your real name or by your company name. And again, the NUA server, it's not searchable. Random people can't join the server. Right now, it's NUA members only by invitation. So I want everyone to feel comfortable sharing their name or their business name. But again, you're going to need to manually go in and change that for the server. There's a couple of different ways that you can do this. If you are looking at your list on the right-hand side, if you've got your member list showing, you can right-click on your name. You can edit your server profile. And what that means is it's going to edit the information that people see on this server, on the NUA server. And you'll see right here, server nickname, you can change that to whatever you want. Okay, that's one way to get to it. I do want to mention there is a difference between editing your server profile and editing your user profile. So if you edit your user profile, you are editing your profile across all of Discord. Server profiles are specific to the server that you're in this case, the National Upholstery Association. Okay, so I mentioned you can get to it from the member list on the right-hand side. The other way you can get to it is if you're on desktop, you'll see your photo, or if you upload a photo, you'll see your name here on the bottom. You can click on the cog for user settings. You can go to profiles. And then again, you're going to have the option of changing your user profile or your server profile. Click on server profile, and there's where you can change your name. Okay. All right, so that's changing your name on the server. I want to talk a little bit about replies versus threads. And we'll do a couple of tests here just so you can see. If I'm replying to a post, the way you do that is you can click on more and you can click on reply. There's other options here. If I were to reply to my post, what's going to happen is it's going to show up below my original post or the post that I'm applying to, just like any text thread. So it's a post and then another post below it and another post below it. One thing to note is that if you're replying to a post, the person who you're replying to will get a notification unless they have notifications turned on. Because one really easy way to get someone's attention is to reply by clicking on their mention or clicking on their original post and clicking reply. Okay. Threads are a little different. In a thread, you're actually going to attach your message to the original post that's there. It's not going to show up below the post. You're going to start the same screen, but instead of clicking reply, you click create thread. Okay, you can change the name of your thread or you can leave it as is. But if you reply to a thread, what's going to happen is it's going to show up. What's that? So you can see below the core post, it's going to show up as a thread and you're going to see your messages there. You can click on that message and you're going to see all of the people that replied to the thread. In this case, it's just me, but it could be multiple people replying here. Okay. So threads are a separate branching conversation that starts from a message, and threads are really useful if you want a focused discussion on a specific topic without cluttering the main feed. Again, it's good for longer discussions, whereas a reply would be good for shorter discussions that maybe require 1 or 2 answers or 1 or 2 responses. Replies are totally fine. But we have a really long discussion. It's probably better to move it to a thread just so others aren't so bothered by it. Okay. You'll find both within our channels. You know, our current users here on Discord, we bounce back and forth between using replies and threads. I do it too. But you know, use your best judgment here. I believe all NUA members can create threads. So if they do want to, they certainly can. I think you can also create a thread directly. You don't necessarily have to reply to a post. So what you would do in that case is you would just go into your message. You can type your message as you'd like it. And instead you can click on thread. And now I've just created a thread right from the beginning without having to reply. Okay. All right, interacting with other users. There's a few ways that you can talk with other people or get their attention. The first we call is a mention. A mention is a way of getting users' attention. What happens is it sends them a notification, unless their notifications are turned off, letting them know that they've been mentioned. In order to do that, what you can do is you can find the name of someone either in your show member list. You can find someone's name. You can right click on them or control click if you're on Mac. You can also do this on mobile by just holding down their name, and then you can click mention. And by doing that, what you'll see is their name will appear in the chat bar with the @ symbol in front of it. And then you can start typing a message. It's going to appear in whatever channel that you mention them in, and then they'll get the notification. So I can continue here. I can hit enter. I won't do that here. And then I will get a notification that I've sent, in this case, myself a message. Okay, so mentions are a good way of doing it. You can do that again by right-clicking, control-clicking, and clicking mention. The other way you can do it is you can just hit the add button. Now you've got a list, just start typing their name if you know it. Click on it, and now you'll see the name is highlighted, and you know that you're ready to mention them. And by hitting enter after you've mentioned your mention, then you'll get the notification. The other way to get in contact with someone is to send them a private message. And if you want to do that, again, you can find their name. You can find their name either, right here. You can send them a message. Maybe you can't. You can click on show member list and send them. Maybe I can't do it to myself. Maybe that's the problem. But you can right click on them and you can say message. Let me see if I can find somebody here. Heather. I can click message. And what it does is it brings me to my direct messages. I didn't cover this at the beginning of the call, but in the screen or in the tab where you have all of your servers, the very top will always be your direct messages. If you are on desktop, you're going to see the Discord logo. If you are on mobile, you're probably going to see a chat bubble here. But by clicking direct message, right-clicking on someone and clicking on direct message, you can then send them a message. This is going to go to them and only them, and it's going to be outside of the server. So you're not going to be able to use any server emojis. You're not going to be able to tag any channels so there's some limitations to direct messages. Again, it's not server specific. You are DMing them inside of Discord as a whole. One thing I want to mention on DMing or direct messaging people is that you can only message one person at a time. If you want to do a group message, you have to add all those people as a friend, and they have to have friended you back. So it's the only way in Discord to have a group message with, say, 3 people in a private message or 4 people. You need to friend them first in order to make that happen. That's a little quirk that we found out the hard way, but we're all friends at the NUA, so I'm very happy to friend you if you friend me. Okay. Going back into the server, there are a couple of other features. When you're in the chat bar, you're going to be able to add GIFs. You're going to be able to add stickers. You're going to be able to add emojis. So feel free to use these, the ones that are available for our server. You're going to see a list of them all here. You can be generous, or I would just say let's not use them too often because it could clutter up, but an occasional GIF can be a lot of fun. There are some limitations with GIFs, and you'll see a gift here. The gift is basically to purchase a Discord subscription. It's called Nitro. Nitro, if you choose to purchase it, just gives you the ability to upload larger files and use custom emojis. You're probably not going to need a subscription unless you're a power user of Discord. So I would just ignore that. But it does give you a few extra goodies if you are a member. Okay. Another thing you can do if you want is you can add a note to somebody. And one reason why you might want to add a note to somebody is if you click on them, you might not know who they are. Yeah, I know who this is, but I've created a note here to tell me that this is Rachel. You can do this for anyone. The notes are private to you. So if you have a nickname for someone, or if you're not sure who they are and you just want a little reminder, you can do that. And you can do that by clicking on the person. Actually, I think you need to right click on the, let me see, I think it's right click on the person and look at their profile, and then you can click to add a note here. Okay. Notes are a good way to keep track of people. Again, they're private, only you can see them. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about formatting your posts. In Discord, you have a couple of different options. You can either, when you click a message, you can either use the plus sign. Actually, I think you need to start writing. You can highlight your text. That's what it is. And then what you'll do is you'll see a pop-up with some formatting options. Okay. You can bold, italicize, you can strike through, you can create a quote, you can use a code block, or you can what's called spoiler something. So we're going to talk through these a little bit. Bold, I think everyone knows what bold is. When you click on that, you're going to see that it's bold. But what's more important here is that you're going to see these asterisks next to it, 2 on each side of whatever you're bolding. This is called markdown text. Markdown text is used in a lot of different on a lot of different sites. It's a very quick way to format if you don't want to go to a formatting menu. So I just want to mention that because you have some choices here. If you want to learn markdown text so you don't use the formatting, what you can do is if you go up to the How to Use Discord channel, I do have a topic here on how to use markdown text. So you can click on that article and get some detailed instructions on how to do markdown text. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here covering how to do that. Okay. Yep. Oh, another thing, let me see here. Managing notifications. Let's talk about that for a second. Notifications can be managed either at the server level or at the channel level. So a lot of options here. You can, if you want to receive no notifications, if you want to mute your notifications, you can go to the server and look at your notification settings. All right. And here again, you can either mute the entire server for some period of time, or you can limit your notifications to only certain messages. You can limit it to only messages where you're mentioned, or you can choose to have no messages at all, or no notifications at all. There's also something called adding everyone and at here. This is something that only admins and board members can do right now. They can basically mention everyone on the server, and everyone will receive a notification. If someone uses the at everyone and you don't want to be notified, you can click that to suppress it. So that's one way to pause notifications or turn them off at the server level. Okay. However, if there's a specific channel that receives a lot of chatter and maybe you don't want notifications forever or for some period of time, you can go to the channel, you can right click on it and click mute channel. When I say right click, I'm on a PC. If you're on a Mac, you're going to control click. If you are on a mobile device, you're just going to long hold on the channel and you'll see the mute channel button, and you can mute a channel for a specific amount of time or until you turn it back on. Again, this is at the channel level. So if I were, for example, to mute the general channel, it is not going to mute any of the other channels. So you'll need to do that individually, or you can do it up here for the server as a whole. Okay. Let's see, changing your theme. Okay, as you notice, my background here is all dark. I'm in dark mode. Some people really like dark mode, so I want to show you how to do that. You're going to look for your profile here again at the bottom. You're going to click on user settings. And once you're in user settings, then you're going to go to apps, there's an app section, and click on appearance. Okay. You're going to see some theme options here. You have a light theme or a dark theme, or you can sync it with your computer. So if your computer switches back and forth, depending on the time of day, your Discord can follow whatever your rules your computer has. I like it in dark mode. Maybe you like it in light mode. The other option are, there's some colors here. This is one of those things that are gated behind the subscription. So if colors, having different color themes are important to you, you can purchase the Discord subscription if you'd like. I mentioned some formatting. There's a particular formatting that I wanted to show you. It's called spoilering. I'll do an example. This is spoiler text. This is not. So what spoilering does is it hides text. So, maybe you've heard spoiler alerts when you're watching a TV show or a movie. What it does is it hides certain content so people can only see it if they want to. And you can click on the spoiler. This is the spoiler formatting tab, where you can put two vertical lines on either side. And what that does is when you hit enter, you're now going to see a black box. You're not going to see what's under that spoiler tag. And nobody else will either. They're just going to see a big black box. If they want to see what's under the text, they click on it and then they can see it. The reason why you might want to use this is if there is a not safe for work post, something that maybe is inappropriate. Not that we encourage people to post inappropriate things on Discord, but from time to time there might be something upholstery related, and that's okay in moderation. Just put it in a spoiler text so people don't have to look at it unless they want to. Okay. I mentioned a moment ago the how to use Discord channel. All these things that I'm showing you today, there are articles for all of these things in the how to use Discord channel. So if you forget what we've talked about, again, this video will be available for on-demand watching later, but you can also look for an article. Or if you can't see the information you need here, you can click on the help button up at the top, and that's going to take you to Discord's help page. And in the help page, there's actually a section for, Discord 101, just the basics. So you can click on that as well. Okay. So we're coming up to about 50 minutes into the session, the community meeting. Just want to mention this is a primer. This doesn't even begin to cover all the functionality that Discord has to offer. If I've forgotten to cover anything and you need to know how to do something in Discord, try Googling it first. Google is great, but you can also send me a DM and I'm happy to help you out. Again, my name's Harmony. And I also mentioned the website, which if you click on the help screen, you're not going to see because you can only see my Discord screen, but clicking that will open up your web browser and take you to the Discord support page, where you can see all sorts of articles about how to use Discord. That is all I have planned for the session. I'm going to open up for questions. Does anybody on the call have any questions?
This is Tina. I had a question. Does the NUA pay to belong to this server, this program?
That's a great question. The answer is no. It's completely free, and that's one of the reasons we chose it. Whereas Slack has subscription programs, Discord does not. They monetize in a completely different way. instead of charging the organization or the business or whatever for a server, what they do is they charge individuals for additional features. So they make their money by selling in basically microtransactions, the ability to have custom GIFs or custom emojis, or to be able to upload larger files. That's how they make their money. They make it off the individual user, not the organization.
Okay. The other question, or not just a comment, is I wonder why it's called Discord when that means not getting along.
You know what? Discord, I actually don't know the answer to that. I can Google it and find out. Discord means a lack of harmony or disagreement. You're right.
I couldn't find another definition, so just wondered.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure why they picked that. Of all names, why do they choose that? It sounds cool. It has nothing to do with talking. It's easy to say, spell, and remember. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I had. It
Okay.
seems kind of complicated to me, but I'm 68 years old, so I'm
Well,
I'm a computer immigrant, not a native.
well, Tina, I know you joined a little bit late, but if you've ever used, chat rooms in general, Yahoo Chat, AOL, Messenger, ICQ, any of those old school ones, or if you've used Slack or anything, it's similar. There is a lot of features here that I cover because there are users, there are people that might want to really dig into some of these features. But at the end of the day, I think the key takeaways here is there are channels for the server. The NUA has different channels that are sorted by topic. If you want to participate in the conversation, just click on the channel and start chatting. It's really as simple as that. There are, I think I mentioned here just a few minutes ago, changing your name on the server. That's kind of important. And there are instructions on how to do that in the How to Use Discord channel. But other than those two things, you can make as much or as little of it as you want. We just want people to get talking.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, well, I will end the call there. Again, if anyone has any questions about Discord, please check the How to Use Discord channel. You can send me a DM. I've been using Discord for many years, even before the National Upholstery Association had their server, so I may be able to help you. And if I can't, then I'll go find the answer for you. So please, don't be shy. Don't be afraid to try it out. We really want to use this as a tool to collaborate. And as an NUA member, not only can you chat with other members, but you can also see what our volunteers are up to. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the call, we have a whole section called NUA committees, and all of the channels for the NUA committees are all represent coordination that's happening in our different committees for the programs that we offer. So I think it's really cool. You get to see what's going on behind the scenes. And if you want to participate in the conversation, please, fill out a volunteer description or a volunteer application on our website, or you can email us at volunteer@nationalupholsteryassociation.org, and we can put you to work. So that's all I have. Everyone else, enjoy your day. Thank you.